Socialist Worker is the name of a number of newspapers currently formally associated with the International Socialist Tendency. It is a weekly newspaper published by the Socialist Workers Party in the United Kingdom, a monthly published by the International Socialist Organization in the United States, a monthly published by the International Socialists in Canada, a bi-weekly published by the Socialist Workers Party in Ireland, a quarterly published by the International Socialist Organization in Zimbabwe, and was a monthly published by the former International Socialist Organization in Australia. Socialist Worker was also the name of an ISD political group in Aotearoa, New Zealand, United Kingdom. The Socialist Worker, published by the SWP, claims to be the most widely read socialist newspaper in the United Kingdom, though this claim is also made by the Morning Star, which has a daily circulation of 14,000. Although Socialist Worker sales circulation data is not publicly available, John Molyneux estimated the circulation of the paper in 2006 to be under 8,000. Special bumper issues have a circulation approaching 10,000. It was claimed in an article containing an interview with Judith Orr in April 2013. History originally titled Industrial Worker and then Labour Worker. It was founded by the Socialist Review Group in 1961 in London. The newspaper was renamed Socialist Worker in 1968 and moved to weekly production. Its first editor was Roger Protz. Its language and general approach was modelled on the Daily Mirror but aimed to provide a very different set of ideas. Writers included Paul Foot, Duncan Hallis and Eamon McCann, plus reports of strikes and other struggles from across the country sent in by readers. The editor from 1974 to 1978, Paul Foot later went to work for the Mirror, though he continued to contribute to Socialist Worker until his death in 2004. It was edited between 1982 and 2004 by Chris Harman. After 2004 it was edited by Chris Bambury, who was succeeded by Charlie Kimber in 2009 and Judith Orr late in 2010. When Margaret Thatcher died, the newspaper printed "Rejoice" over her headstone, gaining much international comment. The paper gained mainstream attention for itself when it published an article which seemed to mock the death of a 17-year-old who was mauled to death by a polar bear, on the basis that he was attending Eton. Writing in The Guardian, Owen Jones commented that instead of expressing sadness or empathy over the death of a young person, the newspaper was evidently delighted. Jones said the end of the article was even more gratuitous because it said, "Now we have another reason to save the polar bears." Jones suggested that the official organ of the Socialist Workers Party apparently fantasizes about an army of polar bears leaving the playing fields of Eton soaked blue with posh blood. Working for the newspaper has proved to be an apprenticeship for many prominent journalists at the onset of their careers, including Gary Bushell and the brothers Christopher and Peter Hitchens. Production and distribution: the paper is printed on Wednesday morning, then delivered to parts of the country. It also has a subscription service. It is sent free to any UK prisoners who request it. The paper is published on behalf of the party by Sherborne Publications Limited. Current directors Charlie Kimber and Joseph Tunara, and Sherborne also published the associated website www.Socialist Worker Co. UK, United States. Shortly after its foundation in 1977, the ISO began publishing a monthly titled Socialist Worker, modelled after the British publication of the same name, and the bi-weekly Workers' Power, then published by the International Socialists. The paper became a daily website on May Day 2008. The print version is published monthly. The ISO left the International Socialist Tendency in 2001. Since the 13th of April 2001, the ISO has also published a Spanish-language supplement to Socialist Worker, titled Obrero Socialista. Publication was irregular until 2005, since when it has been bi-monthly. Canada. Socialist Worker is the publication of the International Socialists, the Canadian IST affiliate. The newspaper was originally called Workers' Action and was published monthly from 1975 until 1985. After 108 issues, it was renamed Socialist Worker. In 1995, Socialist Worker started publishing every 2 weeks, except for tri-weekly issues in May, July and December. In recent years, the newspaper has been published irregularly. It was published tri-weekly for a time and is currently on a monthly schedule. Articles from the paper can no longer be found on the paper's website, but are accessible through the Wayback Machine. Socialist Worker is 12 pages and printed in black and red. A French-language monthly, Resistance, was also published by the IS and claimed a circulation of 300, most of it in Quebec. It has now ceased publication. The Agitator, a monthly student bulletin, was published from 2007 to 2009. Other countries. The Irish SWP's fortnightly Socialist Worker styles itself as a paper of the movements. Similar publications with the same title were formerly published in Australia and New Zealand. The Australian International Socialist Organization's paper sales dwindled to 422 an issue by 2000. By 2001, when the paper went weekly, sales had dropped by almost 300. The paper ended with the merger of the ISO and 2 other socialist groups which formed Solidarity in 2008.